Hey, what's up, fam? Welcome back to another episode of The Herd Truth. And I am your host, as always, Danny Farrar, CEO, founder of Soldier Fit, founder of the nonprofit Platoon 22 and the Platoon Veteran Services Center, and most importantly for you, the leader of the herd. Now, when we talk about The Herd Truth, what is it? It's just giving you that hard truth that you don't want to hear, but the truth of the matter is, if you want to see some changes in your life, well, we're going to have to give it to you. And here is a herd truth that most people want to avoid at all costs. They just don't want to admit this. You're not going to do it on your own. You are not going to do it on your own. This has been proven over and over again. If we start with fitness, and remember, fitness is the foundation of everything, because fitness, as my mentor, Major Schooling, says, it's the gateway drug to a better life. It's a gateway drug to leveling up in every facet of your being. If you start with fitness, if you lead yourself, if you control what you put in your mouth, if you control what you do with your body, then guess what? You can lead others. And if you can lead others, then you can do anything that you want to do on this planet. But the reality is, if you're out of shape, if you've never been in shape in your life, you're not going to do it on your own. And we have proof of it. It's looking right at you. You're 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 100 pounds overweight. You've never done a workout program, or every workout program you've tried, you've fallen off because you don't have that accountability. You know, Larry Fitzgerald, who is a first-round Hall of Famer for sure, former wide receiver for the Arizona Cardinals, what did he say? He said there is a difference between training and being trained. See, it's really, really, really easy to give yourself an additional 10 seconds if you're holding the stopwatch. Because what we do every day is we die on noble lies. And what is a noble lie? A noble lie is this story that we tell ourselves to justify not showing up. We can't go to the gym today because we got to be there for our kids. We can't go to the gym today. We can't get our workout in. You know why? It's because of the simple fact that we got a project at work we need to work on. You know what? The house is a little messy. I'm going to go home and do laundry today. And do you even do that? No. You go home, you walk inside, you sit down for what you tell yourself, there's only going to be a few minutes. And then you hit that recline button and the legs pop on up. And you start to look comfortable. And then that inner voice, that inner bitch starts telling you know what, you had a hard day today. You know what, you need a beer. You need to unwind. You're going to double up tomorrow, but you've never doubled up, have you? Hell, you haven't even singled up. You haven't even went to the gym one time. But now all of a sudden you're going to double up tomorrow? No, you're not. And you don't need that beer. Like, think about that for a second. How weak are you? How mentally weak are you that the little trouble that you had in this day, the only way that you can possibly process it is with a crutch. It's with a crutch. Let me get that beer. Let me smoke my weed. Let me do whatever it is I need to do. Just care, like Calgon, carry my problems away. How about instead you learn to charge the storm? How about instead you learn to face whatever it is that's coming at you? Because if you don't learn how to deal with it now, if you don't learn how to deal with it at this level, the problems that you have today, then you're going to get railroaded by tomorrow's problems. Because every time you level up, every time you go to that next level that you see in the future, every time you get there, there's new problems. There's nobody on planet Earth that has a problem-free life. And if you can't handle minimum wage problems, if you can't handle the low entry-level problems, then how are you going to ever run a company? How are you going to ever head up a department? How are you ever going to be in charge? If you can't manage yourself, how are you ever going to manage anyone else? How are you ever going to lead anyone else? And make no mistake about it, you got to lead yourself. And so that requires you to be honest with yourself. Have the true conversation that says, you know what? I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing. I know what I should be doing, but I don't know what I'm doing. You know you should start movement, but you don't really know where to start. You know you should eat healthy, but you don't really know where to start. And nowadays, there's so much conflicting information out there that the one post will tell you that eggs are horrible, and the next post will tell you the best thing you could ever eat. One post will tell you that veganism is the only way to do it, and the next post will tell you the only way for you to actually survive and live is to only eat meat. So if there's so much conflicting information, Even picking up the phone isn't going to answer yourself. Even if you Google it, it's not going to answer you. So what you need to do is you got to find somebody who has a proven track record. Somebody that has been in the game. They're not just a flash in the pan. When we look at people that are in business and we look at the lifespan of the businesses, we know that 50% of people go out of business statistically in the first 5 years. And everyone knows that stat, but one that loses people is that actually 90% go out by the 10-year mark. So if you're looking for somebody that's proven, don't look for the person that just has 1 million Instagram followers. Don't look for the person that just looks good, because there are countless people who look good. That's just how God made them. They don't know what they're doing than man and moon. As a matter of fact, they're actually oftentimes the worst people to give you advice because they don't know what it's like. They don't know what it's like to eat one little extra bit of rice and think it goes right to your hips. They don't know what it's like to be like, oh man, can I have a piece of chocolate? Can I have ice cream at my kid's birthday party? Can I have that? Because they've been consuming it their entire life and didn't bother them. Make sure you stay away from these people that try to tell you to be super restrictive. You're not going to maintain a strict diet for the rest of your life. So why start for 30 days? You know, one of the things that I saw over and over again is people get on the Whole 30 and they rave about it and they're crazy about it. It's so popular. What about day 31? What about day 30? Literally every person I know that does the Whole 30, all they're waiting for is day 31. They get to day 31 and then it's done, because they're not going to eat like that every day for the rest of their life. If you have somebody telling you to work out 7 days a week, 2 times a day, why? Are you going to do that for the rest of your life? Then what is the purpose of doing it for 12 weeks? You need to find a coach, someone that has been in business, that has walked the walk for over a decade, somebody that has thousands of testimonials, not just a few, not just a handful. And you have the ability to find that and find somebody that has literally been in your shoes, somebody that has been overweight, then by all means, you hit the jackpot. Now, I don't mean to toot my own horn. Maybe I do. I've lost 150 pounds in my life. I've lost a Backstreet Boy. Ain't no lie, bye. We have literally thousands of members who've gotten the best shape of their life. And by the way, we've been in business for 16 years. So all of the arrows are pointing you, and this is the right direction. And when we talk about what we do here in the Herd, our advanced program, to get you the results that you want to get, well, you know what? It's just a home run. But at the end of the day, what matters more to me, listen, by 2030, over half of America will be obese. Over half of America. We already know that 76% of Americans right now are overweight or obese. This is a true health pandemic. This is a true thing that's keeping our country back. We're literally eating our way into an early grave. We're literally laying on our ass until the day that they put us in the dirt. I honestly don't care where you get training at. There are hundreds of great companies out there that can help you reach your goal. But what I want you to understand, what I want you to take from here is that you're not going to do it alone. You're not going to do it alone. There is maybe 0.1% of people that will go out and do it on their own. And knowing that, honestly, it's a bit egotistical to think that you're going to be the 0.1%. I would rather you err on the side of caution and assume that you are the majority in this case and get help. Find a coach that is going to help you set realistic expectations. You need to understand that, listen, if you're 150, if you're 80, 90, 20, 30, whatever the number is, overweight, you're not going to lose that overnight. And you're not going to get in shape overnight. This is going to be a long process, but it's a process that's worth it. Time isn't going to stop. The reality is that next year is going to be next year for you, God willing, whether you get off your ass or whether you stay the same, whether you stay on it. Now, the difference is going to be, you're either going to be in better shape, leaner, stronger, healthier, more energetic, or you're going to be more out of shape, more overweight, weaker, and more lethargic. The problem with people is they believe that there are three options: get better, get worse, or stay the same. That last option doesn't exist. You don't have the ability to stay the same. You're either growing, evolving, or dying. And in this case, literally dying as you continue to pile and rack up fat. One of the things that we've seen in our country, and we look at the history, is that it's always been about beauty. That's what people talk about fitness with. Oh, they look good. If we go back to the 90s, it produced the anorexic models. The belief at a point in time that in order for a woman to be beautiful, she had to be skinny. And skinny just got littler and littler and littler, to the point in time that I think for a while, women actually didn't want to have curves. They were avoiding. They thought they needed to be absolutely straight, and it was unhealthy. Seeing the way that some women in that time period starved themselves. In an effort to correct that, we see a complete switch, a complete 180. The pendulum swung all the way over to now it's about big is beautiful. And that has led us as a society to put unhealthy women on the cover of magazines talking about women's health. This is not debatable. If you were overweight, it is unhealthy. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It is unhealthy. There may be times where we see somebody for their sport, think like an offensive lineman, for example. For them, the risk reward may be worth it. They may want to say, hey, I need to be this heavy to play this sport to do it. But the truth of the matter is, if you talk to a lot of them after they get out the NFL, what do they look to do? They actually look to lose the weight because it's unhealthy. It's exhausting walking around at that size. But what we've done in both cases is we made their fitness and their health about beauty. You got to be this skinny to be beautiful. Or we're not going to say that you should lose weight, that you should be healthy, that you should be on an exercise program. You should be conscious of what you put in your body because big is beautiful. It's not about beauty. It's about your quality of life. And what we know is that obesity is the number one comorbidity of the top 5 to 6 killers of Americans today. But yet we don't want to talk about this because we're afraid of hurting someone's feelings. Feelings don't give a damn about facts. So instead of sitting here talking about feelings, let's look at the reality of it. Let's look at what you should be doing. I encourage everybody to forget about skinny. Get strong. Get as strong as you physically can. If you get as strong as you physically can, for the vast majority of people, the rest will take care of itself. It will produce the physique that you want. And strength is the fountain of youth. We have you trained, we have you strong, we have you have balance and coordination, we have you increase bone density. All of these things will benefit you well into your 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. If you want a quality of life, that requires that as you age, you have the ability to move and live independently. If you are weak, if you don't have coordination, if your balance is off, then you are not able to take care of yourself. This, to me, is the most important thing. What is the use of getting to retirement age if you can't even enjoy those years? What is the use of working hard to have your golden years only to find yourself in your golden years weak, decrepit, and an invalid? What benefit was all of those years of work? Why did you toil away at a profession only to not be able to reap the benefits? In order to do that, in order to be a senior that doesn't need assistance, you got to do the work today. In order to prepare for the storm that's coming, you need to prepare today. You can't run in a storm if you can't walk. You can't weather it if you're going to break at the first sign of it. And it only becomes harder and harder to start the longer you wait. It only becomes more difficult to have your first day if you keep putting that day off. So that's my challenge to you. Don't put off another day. Don't say that I need to do 15 more days of research. Find a place that has a great reputation. Find a place that has amazing reviews. Find a place that has been in business for a sustained amount of time. Find a place that has certified traders. Find a place that has great testimonials. And find a place that you can readily walk into, or now that we have the ability for online, that you can easily talk and relate to the coaches. Have your consultation set up. Do your consultation. And then, most importantly, do not say, I have to think about it. You don't need to think about it. You've been thinking about it for 5, 10, 15, 20 years. You've been thinking about it since 50 pounds ago. Thinking about it more is only going to make your weight go up. Stop thinking, start taking action. The storm's going to come. It's going to be uncomfortable. The first couple weeks, you're probably going to be upset. It's okay. You've got to start off being bad so that you can get good and eventually get great. But here's what I absolutely promise you. You're never going to look back at the end of the workout and regret that you did it. A year from now, when you're down 20, 30, 40, 50 pounds, you're not going to regret the work that you put there. And when your kids and your grandkids look up to you and see you as a beacon of strength and see you as an inspiration, you're never going to go back and go, you know what? I'm upset that I spent all those years taking care of my body so that I could be here today and enjoying this time with them. If you embrace the motto of head down, horns up, I promise you'll be happy on the other side of the storm. If this spoke to you at all, by all means, give us a subscribe, hit a like. And if there's somebody in your life that you know needs to hear this message, be sure to share it out to them. Until next time, fam, salute.